Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, Venezuela-based company awarded $5 million contract to compact and export waste. The Minister for Climate Resilience wants the youth to take their place in the march towards Dominica's resilience. And ICA's Director General meets top agricultural officials on a visit to Dominica. The details of the news coming up.
M&J Covering is the producer of designed galvanized and galvalume in Dominica. They design to your specifications, color and length, 4 styles of galvanized and galvalume pre-painted roofing sheets as requested, and supply all your galvalume accessories. M&J Covering helps you control spending and reduce waste. At M&J Covering, they are also equipped to build your roof to precise standards anywhere on island. So come to M&J Covering at 1 Mile in Portsmouth or call 445-5001-275-5003 today.
First up in the news, an over $5 million contract has been awarded to a locally registered Venezuela-based company for compacting and exporting waste material from Dominica. Following Hurricane Maria, tons of zinc, white goods and derelict vehicles had to be stored at specific locations around the country. The increasing volume of such material grew to be an eyesore so many months after the hurricane, but General Manager of the Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation has revealed that a compactor has arrived on island and work to reduce the volume of material at the dump sites should begin in September.
Now that the equipment is on site, that is just one of the major pieces of equipment that is essential in processing the material. If you understand the material, galvanized, it is so long, it is so wide, a derelict vehicle, it is so long, it is so wide. To export it, it would be better to reduce the size, then you could containerize it and then export it. So the equipment that is on site is a metal compactor. Again, it is mobile, meaning you just get a truck head, a trailer truck, and then you haul it to the different locations. So that is what that will be done, and every single site within the community will be cleaned and free from all the debris that we have stockpiled for over almost a year. CEC Inc., it's a locally registered company. Operation should commence within the 1st or 2nd week of September. Bearing that there are a few more equipment, specialized equipment, that is supposed to be on island within the next weeks.
Dumping grounds for galvanized, white goods and other such material exist at Point Round, La Plaine, Castle Bruce, Stock Farm, Granby and Delice. Mitchell says if all goes according to plan, the sites should be cleared up within 7 months.
There is a schedule that goes with it. Each location, we have a timeline. This location might be 2 weeks, this location might be 3 or 4 weeks, because some of the locations, in terms of the volumes, is greater than some. Some of the material at the locations, because of the variety of material, you would have to do more processing, because you cannot just build everything together. So you'd have to build this thing together, you'd have to build your cast together. So in there, you'd have a little level of processing that may take more time, depends on the location or depends on the volumes at that particular location. We're looking within a 7 months period that we should be able to achieve every single location within a 7 month period. It could be sooner, it depends on how fast the contractor undertake the activity.
According to Mitchell, more will be disclosed about the operations of the company by the Minister for the Environment, Joseph Isaac. In other news now, young people from around the country have been challenged to play their part in developing Dominica's resilience. The call came from Minister for the Environment Joseph Isaac when he addressed the closing of a Summer Volunteers program over the weekend. Isaac urged the youth to use their skill set to help realize the Prime Minister's vision of making Dominica the first climate resilient nation in the world.
I'd like to remind you that the whole focus on the environment and the development of Dominica's greenery came about from the Prime Minister's and the Cabinet vision of Dominica becoming the first climate resilient country in the world. I'm telling you that because you are at the best age here to make a difference in Dominica. You have the energy, you have the talent, you have the brain. So we are depending on you. Volunteerism is really important and is increasing in popularity because it is a mechanism in which you, the youth, can make a meaningful contribution to your country's development.
The theme for the Summer Volunteers program was Youth Volunteerism, the foundation for building a resilient environment.
I'm now again challenging you, the youth, and the division, the youth division and the forestry division, that after this graduation ceremony, I'm saying you still have a couple weeks before school restart. I'm asking the youth division, together with my forestry division, to partner with the youth for the next 2 to 3 weeks to continue the gathering of the seedlings and planting material and putting potting systems in bags so that we can achieve the vision of the 1 million trees for the next year.
219 youth volunteers participated in a youth volunteerism program organized by the Youth Development Division in partnership with the Forestry Division. Director General of the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation in Agriculture, ICA, Manuel Otero, has been meeting with top agriculture officials in Dominica as part of a regional tour. The visit by ICA's Director General to Dominica comes on the heels of the impact of Hurricane Maria in 2017. Part of his visit will be a review of the effectiveness of actions taken by the organization to reduce the impact of extreme climate events. He explains that the meeting would address climate resilience initiatives to equip the agriculture sector to withstand the challenges created by climate change. In addition to the planned discussions with high-level authorities, Otero will also meet with representatives of regional organizations such as the Caribbean Community, that's CARICOM, the Caribbean Agricultural Research and Development Institute, CARDI, and the OECS. ICA maintains a strong presence in Grenada, Dominica, and St. Lucia, and has committed to working in the Caribbean to initiate a differentiated strategy to increase agricultural productivity, focusing on value added and the inclusion of young people and women. The Eastern Caribbean is believed to have the highest incidence of natural disasters in the world, with an annual food import bill reported to be in excess of $1 billion. DOASCO has again this year awarded 2 scholarships to students who were successful in the 2018 Grade 6 National Assessment. This is in keeping with DOASCO's commitment to support the plans and programs of the government of Dominica. The successful students who were selected based on merit and need received their school items during a short ceremony Wednesday at DOASCO's boardroom on High Street in Roseau. They are Kellen Murray of Yampis and Zakira Davis of Soufriere. This takes the number of active scholarship recipients from DOASCO to 10. The scholarship, which is worth $750 annually to each recipient, will be for a period of 5 years and will go towards providing books and other materials for the awardees. According to the company's press release, DOASCO is pleased to continue to play its role as a good corporate citizen in support of the education of our youth and poverty alleviation in our beautiful country. You are watching Channel 5 News. We'll have more after this.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, galvanized and fenced pipe. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Thank you for staying with us. No injuries or deaths reported after a magnitude 7.3 earthquake struck off the northeast coast of Venezuela on Tuesday. According to the country's interior ministry, several buildings were shaken, causing structural damage. One journalist in the country's capital, Caracas, told CNN he felt shaking for at least 1 minute, and a 7th-floor building he was in was evacuated. The U.S. Geological Survey said the quake had a depth of 76.5 miles. The Venezuelan Interior Minister asked for people to remain calm in his official Twitter account. Other people said the earthquake lasted about a minute with 3 aftershocks shortly after. The city is 43 miles from the epicenter of the quake. Some residents say they are used to seismic activity, but this was different. One man is reported to have said, "This one was strong and we were afraid." In Caracas, more than 370 miles west of the quake's epicenter, one abandoned skyscraper, a well-known home for squatters, suffered severe damage, causing the top floors to lean precariously over the street. The surrounding area was evacuated. Over 20,000 personnel from Venezuela's Civil Protection and Disaster Agency were deployed to help anyone in need. Meantime, Trinidad and Tobago experienced a 5.9 aftershock Wednesday morning, just 24 hours after the 7.3 earthquake. The UII Seismic Research Center confirmed on Wednesday that the aftershock occurred at 9:27 a.m. at a depth of 80 kilometers, 49 miles. Executive Director of the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, SIDEMA, has weighed in on Dominica's goal to become the world's first climate-resilient nation. This vision was articulated by Prime Minister Skerrit shortly after Hurricane Maria wreaked havoc on the island last year. During an interview with Dominican media professionals, head of SIDEMA Ronald Jackson applauded the country's goal of becoming climate resilient, but warned that more needs to be done or taken into account when talking of resilience.
SIDEMA promotes what we call an all-hazards concept. For us, the concept of resilience does not rest simply with looking at the hazards that are subject to the climatic changes we've been experiencing. So, we would have experienced a major seismic event within the region, just off the coast of Venezuela and close proximity to Trinidad. And so we recognize that the Caribbean is exposed to a number of hazards. And so we believe in promoting the concept of resilience widely beyond simply the issues related to climate change.
Jackson cited social protection mechanisms, critical infrastructure, ease of doing business, environmental sustainability, and vulnerability to weather events as the main areas of focus when building resilience.
So those are the 5 areas we are promoting and recommending that there be, a focus on strengthening those areas to be able to truly be resilient to issues related to climate change. And so this is to say that we support government's intention, but we are promoting a much more expanded view of the concept of resilience. In that regard, going back to your question around recommendations, we have proposed as SIDEMA within the context of the CDM strategy that as we pursue the agenda for resilience, we have to look at a number of critical areas for what I would call enhancing investments and focusing investments towards resilience.
He cautioned that building back better, smarter, and resilient will take time and urged Dominicans to stick to the task at hand.
We're not going to be able to rebuild Dominica and the others in the next 5 years to the vision that the Prime Minister has outlined. It's a process. It's going to take some time. And so we have to invest also in operational readiness for response. We talk about the whole idea of resilience. Yes, the effects of climate change is central, but when we look at Dominica, we have to remember that there is the potential for volcanic events. There is the seismic events. Two are also intertwined, given that there are geological hazards, and there are other new and emerging risks which we have to also consider.
And finally, the Sun newspaper is reporting that a former teacher at the all-boys secondary school, St. Mary's Academy, has been appointed principal. The paper's front page article says the Grenadian-born Sylvia Joseph John Baptist will be the first female principal at that institution in 86 years. Channel 5 News has not been able to reach Mrs. John Baptist despite our efforts. However, she will succeed former principal Thomas Holmes. Holmes has assumed the role of national coordinator of a counseling program for all Catholic schools in the country. He was principal at SMA for the last 2 years. He told Channel 5 News on Wednesday, as the new acting principal, Mrs. John Baptist will be the institution's first female principal since the establishment of SMA in 1932. To end the news, a look again at the headlines. Venezuela-based company awarded a $5 million contract to compact and export waste from Dominica. The Minister for Climate Resilience wants the youth to take their place in Dominica's march towards resilience, and ICA's Director General meets with top agriculture officials on a tour of the Caribbean. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.